Okay, so this is Penny, and Penny is a puppy mill rescue dog, and she was actually used for breeding, and just doesn't. She's not a fan of people coming to her house that she doesn't know. Actually, the person sitting to her, well, looking at this on the camera, turning to her left, who's here a lot, she's not a fan of, but she's comfortable enough to be next to and sniff. That's awesome. So basically, when anybody gets up, she protests. So I'm going to have you go ahead and just stand up now, and actually grab your keys. There you go. And put your keys on the shelf over there. And then go ahead and sit back down. Now, she didn't protest that time. She kind of cowered that time. But before, when she was, whenever Becca was moving, she was barking at her. So in this video, I want to go over basically a way that you can help a dog that's fearful of movement or reactive to movement feel comfortable with that. And so a lot of these dogs feel like they're in charge of the world. And then nobody listens to them, and that stresses them out even more. So when you're going to have people moving around, what you want to do is practice this. So I'm trying to structure this so we kind of have a better view. Okay, so go ahead and when she does this, what the guardian's going to do is she's going to retreat down in front of her on the couch, and then Becca's going to go ahead and just stand up, and then Becca's going to sit down. So what we want to do is we want to precede the movement with our positive reinforcer, in this case a treat. All right, so go ahead and do the same thing. And Becca, this time you're going to take a half step forward after you stand up. And then take a step back and sit down. And we're going to keep on repeating this. Go ahead and there you go. And Becca's going to take 2 steps this time. And then go back. There we go. So now she's feeling a little bit more comfortable, because before she wasn't actually doing this. She was just barking at a distance. So now go ahead and make a kissing sound and show you have a treat. And then drop it on the couch. There we go. And so we want to have a little, now we talked about not having her on the, ideally we wouldn't prefer to have dog not on the couch, but it's better for the filming for here. But one of the rules we talked about was not being able to be on the couch. All right, now that indicated that was too much movement for her. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and put another one down. This time Becca's just going to slowly stand up right now, and then sit down. So whenever we have a tendency to move faster than the dog's actually capable of. So go ahead and put another one down, and Becca's just going to stand up again. Go ahead. And sit down. So what we want to do when we're doing this is we want to deliver the reinforcer first, then we want the stimulus to happen. So now you can, we'll talk about counter conditioning because we can do it, and we'll just keep on repeating this.
You just want me to keep standing?
Yeah, just stand. And so go ahead and stand a little bit closer to this right now. Oh. Now that one, and just hold still. And go ahead and give her another one, because it fell off the couch. Oh, let's do it again. And then now sit down. So I had you just freeze because static being without moving is a little bit easier. And go ahead and grab those, yeah, and you can make up for it. Use them again. And so basically what we're going to do is we're going to go at the dog's pace. So she's going to keep on repping this while I describe how we're going to do this for other things as well. So again, you see that time she's not even looking Becca's way. So go ahead and do it again. And Becca's going to stand up and take a half step and stay right there. Don't move. Make a kissing sound.
Hey.
A little bit louder.
Hey. Hey.
There you go.
Hey.
And Becca's doing a really good job of not moving. If Becca moves, that'll cause more bites.
Hey. Penny.
Say it high-pitched voice. There you go.
Penny.
Now, my 2 tests while we're getting Penny back up on the couch are, can I get the dog to sit, and can I get the dog to take a treat? If the dog won't sit or take a treat, the stimulus is too intense. So we can change it in a couple ways. Just hold on for this time. And just hold off on the treats for a second. We explain this. So we create, you see now she's like looking, she's longing for them because you slow down. So the way that I lower the intensity is by slowing the speed, lowering the volume, or increasing the distance. So what we're going to do now is we're going to break it down into 2 steps. So you're going to go ahead and put another one in front, and Becca's just going to stand up as soon as it goes in her mouth and just stand there in place. There you go. Now put another one down. And then sit down. So standing is a more authoritative position. So this tells me, although we were doing this earlier, and she's a little bit cranky because we're about 2 hours into the session at this point. This would be something you'd want to have a guest come over, do pretty quickly, and then leave, because that's going to be more taxing if it goes on longer. But if that happened, then you might maybe have, you might move to the middle of the couch and have the dog sitting a little bit further away. Or might have the person sitting on the steps over here as opposed to sitting on the chair. And so we want to go, the whole point of this is to have what we call, have it remain sub-threshold, non-reactive. Once she reacts, she's not going to listen. It's hard to say because in that one it didn't look so much the case, but essentially dogs get hysterical. And when someone's hysterical, you're not going to listen to them. All right, so I'm going to have you go ahead and grab one of those treats and hold it between your thumb and forefinger like this and smash it so it's flat. And then I want you to just hold it and let her nibble on it. And hold it a little bit lower, make it a little bit easier for it. There you go. And you're going to let her have it with just about 2 or 3 bites. I love how her tail went up right there. This is what we call counter conditioning. So what you want to do is you want to be providing the reinforcer first, and this is what I talked to you about off camera about keeping a list of all the things. So if she, like cranking a water bottle causes her to get spooked, then you would have maybe you upstairs or downstairs far enough away where she can hear it, and then be on the phone talking to each other on Bluetooth speakers. And then basically you say, every time I say a number, I want you to crinkle it. So you're going to be talking, you don't want to say now, now, now. After a while, the dog will trigger on the word now. So you say, and so, and then it was, I saw this blue vase and then crinkle. And it's just one tiny little crinkle. Now, before you say the word blue, the treat is being delivered to the dog. You need to let her have the rest of it now. So I do this with doorbells, vacuum cleaners, beard trimmers, anything you think of. So the idea is we deliver the stimulus and grab another one and smash it. And this time let her get about 3 bites. So you're going to give her more access. And don't rip it open if you haven't. Just smash it. Put your hands on the flat side. It makes it easier. There you go. And let her chew on it. So she starts chewing before I start the stimulus. And once the stimulus is gone, we have to stop. Or once the reinforcer is gone, the stimulus stops. So at first what I do is I'm delivering the reinforcer and then I'm knocking. Eventually what you want to do is do another one. There you go. So that's a little bit early. So now we're just going to go back to what we were doing before. That was pretty loud without any reaction. She's going over to check it out, or now she's actually going back to her place. So basically, there we go. We'll film her this way. But basically, and so she gave her a little artificial authority. I'm going to stand up here. And so basically what we want to do is we want to just systematically make a list of all those things and help her practice having something good happen before she hears it. Now, eventually what we'd like to have it happen is where I knock, and then you give her the treat. So the knock means treats are about to happen. But right now you saw she was reacted pretty quickly. So at first we started off by delivering the reinforcer. So if you're going to have guests, I would have guests come over and practice. And so basically you're going to have a plethora of treats, and that's okay if she wants to wander around. Better camera footage or better footage if she actually is more on the camera. Right, Penny? Now see that little jump, that's the cortisol in her blood. So you see that twitchy movement. That's a good indicator that she still needs those rules. And this is definitely not a time to pet her when she's got that, if she's got that really jumpiness. Yeah. So the idea is you're going to be actually handling them at first. So you're going to tell your guest, okay, go ahead. And as soon as you see me put this in, stand up. Now, Becca's timing is a little bit slower than I normally would like. I'd like the treat in the mouth, and like a half second later, the person started to stand up. But standing up, I kind of tell people, move like you're underwater. Kind of a fluid movement as opposed to a big jerky sudden movement. And after a while, like I said, the dog starts to associate. Every time somebody gets up, treats fall from the sky. After a while, I like that. So eventually what you could do is you could give the guest the treats, and the guest tosses a treat at the dog gets it, and then the guest takes a step and drops a treat. Takes a step, drops another treat. Takes a step, drops another treat. So that every time the guest moves, something good is happening. And we also talked off camera about flipping the leader follower dynamic by rules and structure and all the rest of that stuff. All these things will kind of work together in concert. But that's why you want to make a list of all the things and help desensitize her from every single sound so that she no longer, there's probably 100 of these things. So all day long, there's 100 things that set me off. Well, if we systematically take all those things away, now I feel good and comfortable. I don't have to worry about those sort of things because those things are actually a good one. Right, Penny? Yes. Well, this is Penny, and these are some tricks and tips that you can use if you have a dog that's reactive to various sounds or movements.